So recently, there's been a lot of changes to Hypixel Skyblock. But at this point, it's been 2 to 3 days. Things have stabilised, people have stopped freaking out. Today, we're going to see if those changes are working and if they're having the desired outcomes. Now, first of all, I want to talk about the changes to Svens, and the fact that they can now take magical damage. Now, I've got to say, if you thought that the Howling Cave was, let's say, a bit crowded before, it's nothing to what it is like now. Now, it might not be the amount of people, but it's what everyone's doing. It's kind of difficult to actually kill something. You see, now with everyone spamming right click and Hyperioning around, you know, all those shenanigans, spawning is still, understandably, cringe-worthily slow, which means it might literally just be better off to, well, just stay in the hub. I haven't tried out a boss yet, so now it's time to... Oh, you can one-tap it. Yeah, that makes it slightly easier. So the fact that you can one-tap the boss is obviously nice, and that makes it slightly quicker in that sense, but at the same time, spawning the boss is still slow, painfully slow. So, in actual fact, people are freaking out thinking, oh, this is going to make this way too easy. It's never been difficult anyway, it's just been tedious, and it still is pretty tedious. Honestly, for those people who have already done Svens, that's an L. For people who haven't already done Svens, I guess it's a small W, because it will be a bit quicker now, but it's not massive. Next, I want to talk about the city project. The current city project is to repair the wizard portal. Of course, this, well, I would think this would mean once the contributions reach 100%, the update will come out. I can't see any other reason why they would be doing this. Now, in order to incentivize people to contribute towards this, basically, if you donate and contribute 10 times, then you get this memento. Which, yeah, it's okay. It's just an item though, it's just cosmetic, and it doesn't really serve any purpose. Well, at the moment. However, at the moment, there's been 569,848 contributions, and that leaves us at 19%. Which means that roughly each percent is 30,000 people contributing, or 30,000 contributions, which would mean that 100% is 3 million contributions. Of course, providing every single player contributes 10 times to get this memento, that means that, in theory, it will require around about 300,000 people to actually come and donate. All I'm saying is, I'm not sure how long this is going to take to complete. Before we go any further, you should subscribe to the channel, become part of the 24%, there's no reason not to. Also, you should join the Discord server, it's linked in the description of every single video. If you need carries for dungeons, or for slayers, we've got you covered. We're closing in on 20k members, and we've got a special event planned, so you should join. Okay, next up is something that I actually missed. Not a big change, but just something small, subtle, and amazing, really. This golden dragon that I have here used to have pet candies on it, okay? Used to. I say used to, because it doesn't anymore. I didn't realise that they basically kind of... Okay, this is such a good change, let me explain. So, if you put candies on a pet, of course you will gain pet XP, but from the candies. However, if you get the pet to maximum level, and then get the amount of XP that the candies have added, the candies will disappear. Why was this never a thing before? This is amazing. Now, I for one, I really, like, if this pet still had candies on it, I really would not be bothered in the slightest. Like, it doesn't bother me at all. It's cosmetic, and for those of you who are bothered, you're just childish. You need to grow up. Anyway, after angering most Skyblock players, yeah, but this is just, I mean, for me it doesn't make a difference, but if I ever want to sell that pet, that means that I'm going to be able to actually get the full value for it, rather than like 200 or 300 mil less, which is nice. Now, let's get down to the nitty-gritty. The main focus of the recent changes were to basically reduce inflation. I talked about how there's various different changes that sort of point towards them trying to lower the price of the Hyperion, of course. For instance, increasing the drop chance of the Necron's Handle, the same for the scrolls, and also the Recombobulator. If we take a look at the current prices of the scrolls, they've definitely decreased. They were definitely lower, though, at some point. Okay, so we're going to take a look at the sell prices of the Wither Shield scroll. The graph itself is quite difficult to look at, considering they were off the bazaar completely for quite a period of time. However, this right here is just before the chances of scrolls were actually increased. And as you can see, the change between here and here, completely realistically down to panic selling. Now, this data isn't accurate because they were down to 300 million coins, but it still illustrates what is right, and that's that the changes were implemented, people basically just panic sold, and then when the prices actually stabilised to where they should be, they're almost, well, almost back to where they were, really. Now, of course, just the price of them itself doesn't indicate how well it's sort of dealing with inflation, considering things like the Necron's handle and the scrolls are now more expensive to buy out of the chest, so the less profit for people who actually get them. And as for handles, they were down to about 580 mil when people panic sold, now they're back up to around about 630 mil. Prior to the update, they were between 700 to 750 mil, and of course there was substantially less amount of coins to actually buy out of the chest. For instance, the person who has listed this for 630 mil right here, number one, they've paid 100 mil for it, so instantly that's 530 mil profit. They've paid around about 25 to 30 mil to actually list it on the auction house, so it's literally 500 mil profit. As opposed to prior to the change, it was 35 mil to buy at the chest, and it was 750 mil, and it was less auction fees. So just a couple of days apart, this item is now 500 mil profit, and it used to be over 700 mil profit. So just the change in price doesn't indicate how much of an impact it's had on inflation on face value, because there's other things you have to look at. For those people saying, well, you know, Hyperions are still almost 2 billion coins to buy. That's fine. But the people actually profiting from the ingredients to make a Hyperion are profiting less. And there's always two sides to the story. And of course the Hyperion has dropped in price. Yeah, still over 2 billion. But it was getting close to 2.5. As for the change in NPC sell value of crops, I don't really know what to say about that. Okay, so at the moment, let's just... I don't like carrots 15 coins, but whatever, it's 15 coins. You buy a carrot, whatever, you get a carrot somehow. You sell it to the NPC, you get 3 coins. And alright, best money making method ever. Besides the point. You get that same carrot, and instead of selling it to the NPC for 3 coins, you sell it to the bazaar for 2.4. Now obviously, there will be no point in insta-selling to the bazaar, because you're going to lose coins. However, if you put, at the moment, if you put an order up, you can sell each carrot for 15 coins. That just doesn't make any sense at all. I mean, realistically, you're going to be selling enchanted carrots anyway. An enchanted carrot sells for 480 coins to the NPC, and around about the same to the bazaar. When we look at the graphs, we can see here this is where, well, just before the update drops, people panic sell carrots. Imagine panic selling carrots. And then obviously the price goes back up, because people realise there's no reason to panic sell carrots, it's just carrots. And then once again, it's not really up to date. It's difficult to tell, honestly. Now, the only way that this change is successful is if it basically incentivizes people to come over here, forget about the NPC, and sell to the bazaar. What I'm trying to say is a lot of these changes have partially worked, I think. And I think they'll continue to partially work. And at the same time, I'm not entirely sure what the exact aim of these changes were. Whether it was, I mean, it obviously wasn't to completely crash the prices down to basically nothing, because that would be even worse for the game. I mean, the Hyperion is still over 2 billion coins, and I feel like that's a pretty good measure of the state of the economy, because a lot of the changes revolve around lowering the price of that, because obviously content locks a lot of, you know, things actually in the game. Now to think, when the update first dropped and everyone was panic selling like crazy, you could pick each scroll up for about 300 million coins. So for the scrolls, that's 900 million. Handles were down to 580 million. And assuming everything else like stars, so for the essence, and then hot potato books, enchantments, gemstone slots, gemstones, recombobulator, and just everything else, we could probably add maybe, we'll say 150 million. That only takes us up to just over 1.6 billion, which in theory doesn't seem, you know, massively different to 2.05 billion. But it's still over 400 million coins different, or around about a 20% decrease. For those people who capitalised on that and got the Hyperion at that point, I've got to say, fair enough. Fair played. GG. However, let me know what you think in the comments. How effective have these new changes actually been in terms of changing the prices or lowering the prices of a lot of items? Anyway, if you did enjoy today's video, make sure you do leave a like, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next one.